Welcome again to Lancaster Park in Christchurch for this pool match between two sides desperately in need of a win, Italy and Argentina. Television New Zealand's commentators, once again, Grant Nisbet and Earl Curtin.
Thanks, Tony. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, today's match, Italy-Argentina, is all about pride. Both sides were humiliated in their opening matches here at the World Cup. Italy by New Zealand, Argentina by Fiji. So while both have little chance now of advancing to the quarterfinals, they'll come on to Lancaster Park today determined to salvage something from this campaign. With me once again, former All Black and current Wellington coach Earl Curtin. Earl, both sides were terribly disappointing in the first round, but I imagine the team most likely to improve will be Argentina.
Yes, I think so, and I think you got it all when you said pride. There'll be a tremendous amount of pride on the world stage or world rugby stage for both these teams. I thought the Argentinians played far too loosely in the forwards against Fiji, and they paid the penalty of that too, and also trying to spin the ball far too early. But the All Blacks learned from that game, as you saw yesterday, and they drove forward and then created the second phase play to try and pull the fringing Fijians in. And I think the Argentinians will treat the Italians in pretty much the same way the All Blacks did the Fijians. They'll try and drive a lot more forward than they did against the Fijians on Sunday. I thought too that historically I was quite amazed when I had a look at the record books that the Argentinians are no slugs. They've beaten Australia in 1979 at home and 1983 again in Australia, England twice, Ireland twice, Scotland, Wales, beat South Africa, and they beat France in 1984-5 at home too. Then drew with the All Blacks in 85. So they've got a great record. And the other thing I think of interest today is, one, is Hugo Porta gone? And secondly, will be the Latin temperament or lack of it.
Okay, let's have a look at the two sides that will line out for today's match. 6 changes in the Pumas team for this game, brought about mainly by the substandard performance against Fiji. If you're trying to distinguish between the Lanza twins on the wings, look at the jersey numbers, because that's the only way their teammates can work it out as well. Solidity is restored to the midfield with the return of the vastly experienced Rafael Medeiros, while at halfback Martin Shangwala makes his test debut. In the forwards, Argentina have lost their top line-out man, Gustavo Milano. He's replaced by number 5, Sergio Carosio. The team captain, as usual, Hugo Porta. The Italians have also made 6 changes to their side, which lost badly to the All Blacks on opening day. There's plenty of speed out wide. Much will depend on number 10, Oscar Collodo, who moves in from the centre position he played against the All Blacks. Halfback Fulvio Lorijola is a vastly experienced player, and in front of him are a big mobile pack, where in the lineouts there's a huge fellow at number 5, Antonio Calela. Expect much more heart and commitment from the Italian pack than we saw at Eden Park. The side is captained by number 7, Marzio Innocenti. So we're just waiting for the two sides now to come on to Lancaster Park in this Pool 3 match between Italy and Argentina.
Well, there's one thing about it, it'll be a lot closer game, and I think the fact that so few people have turned out may miss out on a good game of football. Because they're closer, I don't think that, let's say a lot closer than yesterday, I think there'll be of more interest to both the pundits and critics and to general Joe public alike. I'm very interested in having a look at this young Guella, the new Argentinian halfback, and whether Porta was having a wee row with his man on Sunday. It looks from time to time as if they weren't quite at one, but then again, perhaps they're all having to have a run too in this squad.
Just waiting for Roger Quittenton to bring these two sides onto the field. Roger Quittenton from England is the referee, his first at the World Cup. And the touch judges will be the man who refereed yesterday, Derek Bevan, and Fred Howard. And so the Pumas forming up, ready to come out. Hugo Porta there, Serafin Dengra, the big prop forward just behind him. And just waiting now for the Italians. Hugo Porta is well aware of the need for him to play well in this match. Marzio Innocenti, the Italian captain.
Well, here comes the great man. Must be one of the greatest first 5/8s of recent times. Hugo Porta leading his side out. I hope for his sake that he plays a lot better in this game than he did in the first. A lot say, as I've suggested earlier on, maybe he's over the hill, but it's sad to see a great player not play well, and I'd love to see him go out of this tournament, not necessarily today or any other time, but I'd like to see him go out in a high. You like seeing great players perform to the utmost and then give it away at the top.
Both sides onto the field. And we stand by now for the national anthems. Firstly, the national anthem of Argentina. The man who will control this afternoon's game, Roger Quittenton from England, supported on the lines by Fred Howard of England and Derek Bevan from Wales.
Well, there's actually quite a breeze, and it's gusting from time to time. And Porta, obviously, will be worried about that. He's playing into what I would say into the slight breeze, the Argentinians are.
Argentina from right to left in the first half. The wind is coming from an easterly quarter, should favour Italy. Oscar Collodo, the man who scored the 6 points against the All Blacks on opening day. Roger Quittenton checking with the respective captains. We're underway here at Lancaster Park, Argentina against Italy. And the long start from Collodo, left alone by Rafael Madeiro, so back to the 22 we go.
It's actually quite a short dead ball line there, just as a matter of interest, the Canterbury dead ball line.
First touch of the ball then for Hugo Porta. Nicely controlled kick, the forwards had time to arrive. Hacked ahead by Molina for Argentina, so the first line out of the game will be on the 10-metre line in Argentinian territory. Now this will be a very interesting aspect of play. Vito Rousey in the front of the line out there for Italy. Galeazzo with the throw. Beautifully taken in the centre of the line by Kalela. Good ball for Lorenziola. Collodo go to spin it early are the Italians. Fullback Tabaldi is in. Left wing three-quarter. Cuttitta has a run. Good lively start by the Italians.
Well, that was a beautiful movement, classical movement, and they were demonstrating what I call Villepro passing in the way they ran across. Ran very straight too. Good football. They're actually playing extremely deep though, probably more deeply than they need be.
Innocenti at the back of the line out for Italy. Georgialin for Argentina. Taken in by Dengra for Argentina. 5 metres out from his own 22. Shanguella Argentina also going to move the ball. Up comes the fullback Salvat. So a good start to this game. It looks as though both sides are going to be prepared to move the ball, and it could be a good lively spectacle.
Yes, that's very positive thinking in terms of both sides. But these lineouts are obviously going to be important if that's one, the tightness of them, and who wins it.
Good line-out win again for Italy. Bit of mishandling there. Could have been very dangerous indeed. It was taken away by Molina for Argentina on the 22-metre line. Controlled by the Argentinians. Roger Quittenton just checking to see the Italians are onside. That's the 22-metre line in Argentinian territory. Back to Porta. Again to Madero. Porta backing up well over the 22. Reluctant to kick even from inside their 22, the Argentinian side.
Well, yes, that's it's good. They're still slightly loose, though. There are quite a lot of those big Argentinian forwards still hanging off the rucks and the mauls, but they poured into that one there in the middle of the field, where Hugo Porta took it in and brought it back.
Martin Shanguella, his test debut for Argentina, the halfback. This is an area of the game where Argentina are very, very strong indeed. The scrum. Madero will need support as he almost got to the 10-metre line. Argentinian forwards a little slow to get though. Schiavio was there though. 10-metre line Argentina. Getting it up towards halfway. Schiavio goes in hard. Porta again slings it across the line. Here's Salvat in. Bad hands. 5 metres in Argentina territory. Well, we haven't seen the ball kicked at all yet, and that's a good sign from both sides.
Yes, it was ominous, though, the way that Argentinian scrum started to shove the Italians back. Their captain, Italian captain Innocenti, is really getting out for the loose ball, although the stronger Argentinians, when they get there, sometimes rob him of it. But he's very fast on the loose ball. Looks a good player indeed. That is the captain.
Man on the ground for Argentina is the 20-year-old fullback Sebastian Salvat, who made such a big impression. One of the few, in fact, Argentinians to make any impression in the game against Fiji and Hamilton.
But granted, it looks like a game that one mightn't have to go back to lunch at 2 o'clock. I might actually watch the end of this. This looks very good.
As we said at the start, a lot of pride at stake here. Both sides virtually annihilated in their opening matches. Fulvio Lorigiola, halfback for Italy, 5 metres on the Argentine side of halfway, held by Zanon. But the big shove comes from Argentina. Lobbing the ball nicely into the centre. Salvat is good under the high ball. He wasn't able to reach it though. Diving down on it was Innocenti. It was knocked forward though by Italy. 3 minutes gone in the game, still no score.
That was a good nudge by Lorigiola too. Right place, pressure on. They just didn't quite gather the ball.
Shanguella. Tons of vocal support for both sides. Travaglini holds the ball on the back of the scrum for Argentina. Offside though. The man pointed to was the prop forward, Luis Molina. And so here's an opportunity for Italy to score first points in the game.
Well, it's still very much a sighter, really, I think, by both teams, but his obvious intent is to run the ball, and that's going to make it an extremely interesting game. I thought the Argentinians would play very, very tightly and try to drive through the Italians. But Porta seems quite happy to let the ball go right inside his own 25 even.
Struck it nicely, Collodo, but just pushed it away to the left, so no goal. Oscar Collodo, the first 5/8. No score on the board, 4 minutes gone in the game. Argentinian forwards arriving. Good kick again by Porta. So far the lineouts have been won by Italy. Some tall men in the centre of the lineout there. Serafin Dengra. Alessio Branca, the big lineout man, at number 2 for Argentina. A good lineout win again for the Italian side. Georgie Allen dives down it though for Argentina. Wins it well. Shanguella to Porta. Madero. Cuesta Silva. Once again, Salvat, the fullback, is up. But on that occasion, the Argentinian backs weren't making a lot of progress.
No, they're not quite hitting the man yet with the ball, but at least it's out in front, so there's not much danger. I always say it's better to have the ball in front bobbling along the ground than whatever is behind. It's still not quite sharp.
Argentina looking for the loose ball. Once again, it's come to Salvat, standing outside his 22, can't kick directly for touch. Back after it is Marcialetti, right wing 3/4 for Italy. Good support from Tabaldi, the fullback. This will come down about 15 metres in Argentinian territory. Schiavio, the side row forward to Porta. Could open up in here a little for Argentina. Juan Lanza on the right wing side. Still on the 10-metre line in Argentinian territory. Dengra tries to take it away for the Argentinians. Now it's Branca on the burst. This is better from the blue and white forwards. They've lost control of it again. Schiavio looked as though he'd come in on the wrong side of the ruck. The referee lets it go, though.
There's still a devil of a lot of loose ball in there. And they're almost making the same mistakes, I think, that is the Argentinians they made against Fiji on Sunday. Too much balls lost in the rucks at the moment, and Mauls are losing it forward after putting in good drives. And I don't think you can afford to do that in any game of rugby.
Antonio Galeazzo, the Italian hooker. Refreshing start to this game. Although the Argentinian side have been moving it, they really haven't got into the Italian territory to any great degree.
No, the passing's been a wee bit slap happy. And when they've actually been passing it too without drawing the man, instead of running very straight and hard, they haven't been drawing them.
Shanguella for Argentina. Another big scrum. Held by Travaglini. Now Porta passes again. Misunderstanding. Hacked ahead by Guadagnello for the Italians, just on the 22-metre line now in Argentinian territory. Good body position, though, by the Argentinians. Have worked it back well. Salvat, the fullback. And he was standing just marginally outside the 22. Really only had to hold his ground for about half a metre, and the kick would have been good. But he just stepped outside the 22, so the line-out comes back to where he kicked it from.
Madero, their second 5/8's playing very, very well, I think. But at present, too, he's standing up in the tackle and playing well. He's holding the Argentinians together in the middle of their back line.
A rear line-out win for Argentina. Dengra back to Shanguella again. Porta sends it on to Madero. Cuesta Silva with the kick. Not a particularly good one from Diego Cuesta Silva. Straight down centre field. Gabriel Travaglini trapped it well. No, he's knocked it on. Roger Quittenton said he knocked it on. Big Gabriel Travaglini there, number 8 for Argentina.
They're very tall loosies for the Argentina, aren't they?
Lorojola, tight head. Diego Cash has the first tight head of the game for Argentina. Again, Travaglini holds. Well controlled. Georgie Allen breaks up to the 10-metre line. Roger Quittenton is in quickly. Argentinian back standing deep. These sides last met in 1978 when Argentina were beaten by 19-6. Potential here for a bit of a flare-up.
I think it was more chat than damage.
Fred Howard on the touchline, the man who did the France-Scotland game, having a chat with Alejandro Schiavio, the side row forward. A second opportunity now then for Oscar Collodo to put Italy on the board.
Yes, well, I still think that the Argentinians look as if they're ready to break out all the time, and the Italians are rather hanging off the rucks and mauls, trying to scavenge. And I think the Argentinians should drive in a lot more, drive forward a lot more before freeing the ball and get out of their own half. Otherwise, they'll give away opportunities like this.
Hit the post again. Travaglini takes it. Madero, Schiavio, chance on the right wing side for Juan Lanza. Argentinians running it from everywhere this afternoon. Well taken by Tabeldi. Looked like a head-high tackle, and it was.
Well, that was excellent play by the Argentinians. It was unlucky that they decided to go for the head high right at the end there. It was a promising move, and they were all coming forward onto the ball too.
Juan Lanza inside his 22. Again, he's running it. This one will land just in Italian territory. Innocenti didn't read it well. Lanza regains it. A line-up out here. Madero, Schiavio, 15 out from the 22. Taken in by Dengra. Shanguella, Porta. First time he's kicked it this afternoon. And a beautifully judged kick too by Hugo Porta.
And I did think it was the first time that he shouldn't have kicked it this afternoon. And he had 4 men up with 2 to beat. It was a beautiful ruck ball, quick ball, which backs love. And maybe the great man made a slight error of judgment, in my opinion.
Italian captain Marzio Innocenti is a little bit slow going back to his position.
He hasn't been happy for about the last 10 minutes, and he was playing like a rocket in the first 10. And I think he's been knocked around a wee bit. It's the second time he's been whacked.
First time today, the Argentinians have been deep in Italian territory, 15 metres out from the line. Galeazzo to throw for Italy. Good leap by Travaglini towards the back. Porter across to Madero, coming in as Pedro Lanza from the left wing side. Sets it up nicely in centre field. Battling on, here's Carosio, the big prop or lock forward for Argentina. Again, it's there for Shanguella. Kick across here for Lanza. The chase is on.
No, you have to say that was a marvellous nudge. It was really Lanza's fault. But still, it's pretty easy from up here. But it was a beautiful nudge across from Hugo.
Important line out here for the Italians. Taken by Serafin Dengra for Argentina. Smuggles it nicely. Lanza going into play halfback, taken away by the big prop forward. Lupini for Italy. Back to Collodo. That's good play by the Italians. They smuggled it away from the Argentinians. Lupini, the big prop forward, worked it back, and the kick for touch from Oscar Collodo. Antonio Carosio for Argentina. Alejandro Schiavio towards the back of the line-out. Argentina certainly coming back into the line-out count now. Innocenti was round on the wrong side and was penalised, or somebody was in there.
No, he was actually penalising the Italian for going across the man and not allowing him to play it. Innocenti was actually onside because the ball was free from the line-out. He was retiring, so he was quite within his rights.
Not a law that you like a lot, I don't think, Earl.
No, I don't. I think that it's an untidy part of law. I don't think they should be able to interfere with it, even if they are retired.
First scoring chance then for Argentina after 16 minutes of the game.
Now this man will be having nightmares after Waikato. And there'll be lots of pressure. He'll be under lots of pressure on this one kick. It's a big kick for Argentina as well as for Hugo Porta.
I mentioned earlier that the ball hit the post again. In fact, yesterday about 4 times the ball hit the goal post. Struck it a lot better than we saw in Hamilton. That's a good kick. Argentina on the board and lead by 3 points to 0.
Well, I think that 3 points might have been worth 12, honestly, to the Argentinians. That's a big boost for them in terms of confidence, and that's what this game's going to be all about.
Italy do have the advantage of the wind in the first half. Not a very big crowd at Lancaster Park, but it is vocal, and both sides have their share of support.
Yes, I can only presume the klaxon you hear from time to time is from the Italians, as you can imagine.
Travaglini on the burst. Now the big man needs support. Just went a little bit too far. 10-metre line in Italian territory, and it went forward from Gabriele Travaglini. Veteran player who was here in 1979 with the Argentine national team. Lorenziola feeds for Italy. Scrum has collapsed. And the man he's blaming the collapsed scrum on, number 3, Molina.
He's like all props, it was who me, sir? Yes, exactly.
Just on halfway through the first half. No tries so far in this game. Argentina ahead by 3 points to 0. Diego Cash. Branca leaping high. Travaglini got a hand to it. Porta well taken. Madeira at second 5/8. Cuesta Silva having trouble. Good support from Madeira. The backing up by the Argentinians has been good here. Porta handed it on. Juan Lanza carries it on almost to the halfway line.
They're not creating much space out there, though, are they? They're sort of cramping themselves onto the touch lines. I don't think they're not really running onto the ball. They're playing very much a standoff halves game.
This time it's on the Italian side. 5 metres in Italian territory. Set up. Back to Lorenziola. Straight down to the right wing 3/4, Juan Lanza. Sebastian Salvat, the fullback. Good support from Madeira. Now Hugo Porta getting himself involved. Audrey Allen, the flanker. Rather skittery stuff here from the Argentinians. Salvat, he straightens it up. Serafin Dengra, the big prop forward, is there 5 metres in Italian territory. Once again, good second phase ball. Salvat. Carosio, the lock forward. And Roger Quittenton says the Italians are standing up offside. Argentinian side, Earl, firing the ball round from everywhere.
Yes, they are, but not doing it terribly well, though. Still a little bit tentative. They haven't quite plucked that confidence that we saw them play against, say, New Zealand at home, and they haven't quite regained that yet. But they're certainly endeavouring to move it all over the shop.
Just made it. 3 points though, and Argentina out to a 6-0 lead.
Oh yes, he stroked it, and that's what you have to do, as we've been saying right through this tournament with these mitre balls. It's a matter of timing them and stroking them, and he did that.
The Italians have had 2 opportunities to score points through their first 5-8 Oscar Collodo. They've both missed. And to the delight of these fellows, Hugo Porta has landed 2 penalty goals for Argentina. Once again, the Italians persist on kicking deep. And so we return now to the 22. "23 minutes gone in the first half, 17 to go till half-time. Bruising battle up front. Argentina have controlled it. Back to Shangwala again. Porta, variation this time. Hugo Porta's the first man there to make the tackle right on halfway. There's Roger Quittenton grabbing a few jerseys. That can be a little dangerous on a rugby field.
I don't know. I think he's very brave myself. I mean, you don't know who the hang it is tapping you on your shoulder as you turn around. You'd be quite inclined to sort of let go, not backhander, I think, at some stage.
Porta missing touch this time. Full back to Baldi for Italy.
In fact, being a fly half, if I'd have been a referee, I'd be staying way away from those big men.
Diego Cash to throw for Argentina, 15 metres out from the Italian 22. Lovely leap in there by Collodo for the Italians. And the Argentine backs were standing up inside the 10 metres. Quick tap coming up here. Lorajolda. Here's the captain, Innocenti, but Argentina went back 10. This could turn into a penalty attempt now, and in fact it will for Collodo.
Yes, slight lack of discipline, but one would come to expect that when the Argentinians and the Italians play.
Third penalty attempt for Oscar Collodo. Yes, he's on target this time.
Yes, that was a good nudge.
That's the scoreline after 27 minutes of the game.
Yes, I thought the klaxon belonged to the Italians. You could tell that then by the background noise. It's nothing like a street, trying to get to sleep in a street in Rome, as everyone, or many of your viewers will know out there. Have those cars zooming up and down with the klaxons going in the middle of the night.
Two penalties to 1, Argentina lead. Porter's pushed it too far. The Italians would be well aware of the options available. They're going to take the scrum on halfway. They didn't have the throw-in, as the All Blacks did against the Italians in the opening game. Larajola, another big scrum from Argentina. This is where the Italians are having trouble. This big Argentinian scrum, which pushed the Fijians round, but really it was the only phase of play in which Argentina, on that occasion, was superior to Fiji. Once again, the scrum screwing around, making it untidy ball for the Italian halfback Larajola. Recovered it nicely though, Larajola. Almost lost the ball on the Argentinian side. 10-metre line, Argentina territory. Ripped away by Dengra. Opening up now for Shanguella. Here's the lock forward of the hooker, Diego Cash. Madero has it. Almost on the 10-metre line now in Italian territory. Comes to Shanguella again. Porta. Now the referee blew the whistle and it was offside against Argentina within that circle.
Yes, the forwards came within the 10-yard circle. It's always very difficult for forwards too, particularly when you turn around, you don't quite know where the kicks come from. And you tend to stay and hang about, frightened to give the opposing side any concessions at all. Very frequent cause of penalties.
Another massive scrum from Argentina. The Italians have it this time though, to Collodo. Across to Barber, the second 5/8. Good burst by Guyton Yellow. On halfway, pull back to Beldi. Right wing three-quarter, Marcelletti. Plenty of speed here, Marcelletti. Now to the left wing three-quarter, Cuttitta. Tabeldi hacks it on. Innocenti is there. 15 metres out. Marcelletti again. Took the wrong option though. Roger Quittenton has awarded a penalty.
Well, yes, the Italian backs were offside from that ruck, and I think there was a fair call too, because when he looked up, he had them all round in the halfback, and the wing three-quarter Lanza, so he had no Cuttitta, sorry, and he had no option but to chip it over the top.
Injured player, Martin Shanguella, the 25-year-old, having his first test match for Argentina. And this is one area the Argentinians have had problems in the last couple of years. They've been through any number of halfbacks. The main problem is that the best halfback back in Argentina, Guillermo Holmgren, won't fly. He's scared of flying, so he never leaves Argentina. That puts a bit of pressure on when the team goes overseas.
Well, obviously a home side, isn't it? Actually, it's quite interesting. Right from the first time, the Italian backs got some decent ball, and then again when they got some good ruck ball, they were running a lot straighter and a lot harder than the Argentinians. They look more dangerous, in other words, each time they get it. The Argentinians are tending to push the ball sideways and run their men up into the stand.
Pushed it to the right. So Oscar Collodo's had any number of chances. That's 4 kicks at goal now. He's landed just 1. And Argentina still lead by 6 points to 3. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Man in front.
Yes, it's quite interesting because I know the All Black camp very much want the Argentinians to win well, and in a sense that they want a really good game on Sunday. They're frightened that they just need one hard one before they go into, if I can be presumptuous, into the next round. And also, I know the Fijians would be very happy for the Argentinians to give Italy a real run round and a bruising match too, so it makes it easier for them to qualify in Dunedin on Sunday for the quarterfinals.
Big lock forward, Moro Gardin, 28-year-old from Padua, the top club in Italy. Good attacking position here for Italy. Collodo was lined up straight behind the scrum.
Yes, the Italians have split the back line. Those you just can't see in the view.
Another big shove, though, from Argentina, nullifying the ball. And, in fact, it's coming through the Argentinian side. Travaglini. Here's Porta having a run. Cuesta Silva. Tabaldi, the fullback for Italy. But once again, it was the big shove from the Argentinian scrum, which is the problem, really, for the Italian team.
Oh, and it's good fun if you're one of those poor wee popos there moving forward. It's good to go 60 yards forward, and that's what they went.
Serafin Dengra there at the front of the line-out for Argentina. He's played rugby in Australia, played for Queensland. Travaglini's won some good ball towards the back of the line-out for Argentina. Standing off was Branca. They missed him out. Porta with a drop kick.
Yes, he just actually spewed that out, didn't he?
Certainly his kicking has been a lot better today than we saw in Hamilton, but that wasn't a good example. Hugo Porta, 2 penalty goals. Argentina leads 6-3. 5 minutes in the first half. Salvat has good support from Juan Lanza. It's a well-judged kick coming down 10 metres out from the 22. Salvat recovered it, but knocked it off.
As he just took his eyes off at the last moment as he's leaping into the air.
One of the features of his game against Fiji was his taking of the high ball, Sebastian Salvat.
Stationary, please. Holding it. Up, please.
Roger Quittenton wants the scrum to be stationary until the ball is put in. Not stationary now, though, because again the Argentinians push. Clearing kick from fullback Daniele Tabaldi.
Well, Kalela for Italy has been doing most of the big jumping in the middle line out. This will be interesting.
He's up against Carosio. Good line-out win this time for Italy. Collodo to Barba. Second centre three-quarter, Gaetaniello. That's the 10-metre line there in Italian territory. Once again, snaffled away by Argentina. A probing kick by Hugo Porta.
He's had very little option. The Italians accelerate onto the ball, and that's very much like the way the French played. And you can see that they've been coached by Pierre Villepreux, and I think you can almost see his influence coming into the way the Italian backs run. You watch them inside.
Good leap in the centre of the line out by Kalela.
Yes, he's
Tabaldi.
Oh, he's jumping well. He really is going well. Mind you, he's a tremendously tall guy there, isn't he? Looks every bit of about 6'8".
He's a big man, all right. Number 5, Antonio Kalela. He's a former basketball star, so he knows how to get off his feet. Ball falls nicely for Georgie Allen. This is Serafin Dengra. He's had a strong game. Sets it now. Porta. Madero. Good stunning tackle. Porta again. Standing wide is Travaglini. Juan Lanza. Almost slipped clean through Juan Lanza. Just on the 22.
Obviously killing the ball again, and they were. And they went right across it there. They dived into what we call the 1-yard area. And you can't dive in now once the man goes onto the ground. Rule 18 and 19 has changed. And the Argentinians, to actually smother that ball, got carried away, and also the proximity of the line. They're only 25 or 22 meters out.
Let's just have a look at that previous sequence of play. It's a good example of the Argentinians not making that much progress, although they swing the ball a lot. The long pass to Travaglini, who makes a mess of it, and Lanza out on the right wing side does well here. In fact, he almost went straight through. And then the ruck came and the Argentinians were penalised. But they've run the ball a lot, Earl, but not to much effect.
No, it's exactly as we were saying. They tend to be shoving it across and they're really running their men up into the stand, as we say, or the three quarters are going that way. You can imagine Craig Green and also John Curran being very upset if New Zealand insides did that.
That's the 10-metre line in Argentinian territory just to the right. Some lifting in the line-out. And an opportunity here for Italy to draw level just a couple of minutes before half-time.
Well, you could really say that Italy have actually, when the ball's moved into the backs, look more likely to score for a back movement than the Argentines.
Beautifully struck. It was just to the right. And so the Argentinian side breathe again. Oscar Collodo has had 5 shots at goal. He's landed just 1. Porta with the restart. Taken in by the big prop forward, Rousey. For the Italians, but the Argentinians with slightly better body position, just driving forward. Now the Italians rally. Smuggled away, though, it would seem, by Argentina. That's the 10-metre line just in the background. Dengra hands it back again. Porta. Clearing across is Parveen.
He didn't actually get down onto the ball. You'd have thought he'd have dived for it and then come up with his quick throw in.
Quickly read by Argentina. Here's a chance for Lanza. And that's the first try. Quick thinking by the Argentinians, and they've posted a try at a very vital time in the game, just a minute before half-time. The quick throw was taken. It was Cuesta Silva who made the run. Lanza ran onto it extremely well and just had too much pace. And that's the first try of the game.
And that's almost the straightest and hardest we've seen the Argentinians run all day. It's a good run by Cuesta Silva. He's a talented centre with room to move and with a bit of a chance. And here's his mate, Lanza, diving for the line. Took them completely by surprise, the Italians.
Struck it beautifully from the sideline. Just pushed it across in front. Well, that try could really be a gutbuster, coming a minute before half-time.
Yes, it just shows you've got to stay awake. It's we've seen a bit of this in this tournament. The quick thinking. The French did it to Scotland, as you know, as you'll remember, on Saturday, and the New Zealanders did it to these Italians on Friday in Auckland. And here we saw it again there, and producing points too. Another bit of good quick thinking by Porta.
Another run from Cuesta Silva, scything right through. Has to find his support. Has it now from Lanza. The rest of the Argentinians a long way back, starting to arrive now. Just out from the 22 and piling over the top. But Diego Cuesta Silva has been quiet up till now, but is starting to show his real class. Man on the ground is the try scorer, Lanza. Bad kick from Collodo. Kept it nicely by Travaglini. Crossed to Salvat, 15 metres on the Argentine side of halfway. Pushed it too hard.
He's done that 3 times. He's had 3 chances on that left-hand touchline, and he's pushed it too hard 3 times. It's not much of a call. Great football.
Almost half-time. Antonio Galazzo.
Come prima.
Well, it's a beautiful take again by Slater, isn't it?
There's a fine line out forward indeed. Collodo. Yellow. Right on halfway. Once again, Italy not able to secure the loose ball. Here's Dengra. He's had a big first half. 10-metre line, Italian territory. And a penalty against Italy. And there's bodies everywhere here. 3 of the Argentinian side are down.
It's so sad to see Italy lose that when after a magnificent 2-handed take by Collodo. Really does get up. I can imagine that he has played basketball. He's got grand hands in the air.
He's alive. Bring him up.
Sebastian Salvat, a young fullback who's played extremely well again today. His taking of the high kick has really been quite outstanding. In the meantime, Porta is going to attempt to extend this Argentinian lead, which at the moment stands at 10 points to 3. No, didn't strike it at all well. Yellow. And that's half-time. Roger Quittenton says that's the end of 40 minutes of this game. And at half-time, it's Argentina ahead of Italy by 10 points to 3. Welcome back to Lancaster Park. The half-time break. And the Italian side receiving their instructions down at half-time by 10 points to 3. Only 1 try scored in the match. Lanza scored for Argentina. The rest of the points have come from the boot of Porta for Argentina and Oscar Collodo for Italy. Here's the only try of the game scored. It was quick thinking by Lanza. Gave the ball to Diego Cuesta Silva, catching the Italians rather off guard. Cuesta Silva had support from the man who threw the ball in Lanza. And he was able to score the only try of the first half in the corner.
Yes, well, I think really in the first half, the 2 forwards that have taken my vote for Grand Player, I think of Dengra has played terribly well for the Argentina as the number 1, the prop. He's getting around on the loose as well. He's a very good forward, good scrummager, and very good forward too in the loose. And the Italian who's really caught my eye is number 5, Collodo. He's getting a tremendous amount of ball, and he's jumping and getting it most of it with 2 hands. There he is there. He's tremendous height. And the other fellow that's played well is Marcelletti for the Italians. He's been running straight and hard on his right wing. And without doubt on the Argentinian side, Cuesta Silva is showing a promise that he displayed against the All Blacks in the Argentina in '85. And he runs very, very well. I just feel, though, that the Argentinians haven't been giving their backs as much start as the Italians have. They're standing a wee bit flat, and they're not really running or punching onto the ball, as we say here in New Zealand.
This is a pool 3 match. Both sides lost their opening game, so there's a lot at stake here in terms of pride for these 2 teams. Roger Quittenton checking again with the captains, and here we go for the second half, with Argentina leading at half-time by 10 points to 3.
I don't know. I often worry about the value of putting the long drop kick off or place kick off from halfway all the time to go dead, because I think it gives the side dropping out again a great chance of regaining possession. So you lose it, and it often worries me.
Collodo from the 22, taken down by Zanon for Italy. Well won ball to Lorigiola, back to Collodo.
And that's exactly what I feel happens, you know, 9 times out of 10, is if the Italian side in that case drove into the ball and won it quickly and easily for their own side.
Let's just have a look at these lineouts, because Antonio Callela has been so good for the Italians in the middle of the lineout. Argentina have won most of their ball through Gabriele Travaglini towards the back. Shanguella. Tabaldi in good position. And the ball might have just drifted into touch. Yes, it did. It was kicked from outside the, or well outside the 22. And it was taken in touch by Daniele Tabaldi. So back we go to where Martin Shanguella kicked it.
It's interesting too that the wind has dropped now. There's very little wind at all.
This time the Italians can't find Callela in the lineout. Branca took it in for the Argentinians. Shanguella. Oh, he's got a bit of pace too, Shanguella. Couldn't pass it to Schiavio, who was in front of him. Shanguella, again, just on the 22. Good play by the halfback, but Alejandro Schiavio, the flank forward, got ahead of the halfback and he couldn't let the pass go. Good start to the second half for Argentina. They lead by 10 points to 3. Again, the control. Travaglini, Shanguella, Porta, doubling round Madero. Here's Cuesta Silva. Sprinting is Pedro Lanza. But Marcelletti on the right wing side for Italy, just a little too quick for them.
Yes, I felt there would be, once you miss the man out, it seems most unlikely, or what should I say, rather silly to actually kick it away. It was a good move. And then they had the man up on the outside. I thought Hugo Porta should have unloaded it rather than nudged it.
Branca waits. Taken in though by Lupini for Italy. The captain, Innocenti, 15 metres inside his own territory. Been a very interesting game, Earl. I'm just wondering what you think of the actual standard of play, though.
I think for the purists, there are probably too many errors. But it's been an interesting game, as you suggest. But the backs, I think, are making too many mistakes, too. Unforced errors, that is.
Boy, there's some power in that Argentinian scrum. It's come to Lorigiola, though. Has support from Zanon, the number 8 forward. Collodo. This will land in no man's land. A good little kick from Collodo. Bounced badly for Marcelletti.
Yes, and also for Gaetanello, it just missed his grasp too. Otherwise, he looks as if he could have been away on the right flank.
Lining up right on halfway. Jorge Allen at the back of the line out for Argentina. Oh, things are getting a little tough in there. Now, it's interesting that Derek Bevan has put his flag out indicating an Italian has offended. And Roger Quittenton initially grabbed an Argentinian.
Well, that showed a lack of confidence there by Hugo. He didn't actually go for goal, even though it was just inside the Italian half. And there is no wind.
Yes, the wind has dropped right away here. Collodo inside his 22. So the Italians have read it right. They've played with the wind in the first half, and they've turned round and the wind has dropped right away. Jorge Allen at the back. Daniele Travaglini, or Gabriele Travaglini in front of him. Notice how Dengra has gone back towards the back of the line-out. He's the man who tidies up most of the loose ball. Ugo Porta, 10 metres out from the 22. The Italians are not offside. Hacked ahead by Collodo. Now the chase is on. Guide in yellow is there. He's got plenty of pace. And finally it was Juan Lanza who got a touch on it.
It's rather interesting. We had an Italian-Argentinian almost soccer game there. It was good.
Italians speeding the game up. Ball comes again to Collodo. Good tackle by Diego Cash, the hooker for Argentina. Body position of the Argentinians a little bit low, and a punch went in. Travaglini let it go. It was there for all to see.
Number 8.
Now that was starting to be better football, though. There was a lot more urgency in their play on both teams then. So much so that a wee bit urgent that Travaglini obviously saw that he'd dish a wee bit out there.
Have a look at number 8, Gabriele Travaglini. Lines him up and boom. And he would have understood what Roger Quittenton said, because Gabriele Travaglini speaks very good English.
It's very silly at this time, because as everyone realizes, it's a really big psychological time in terms of, in rugby parlance, is this first 10 minutes after half time.
Just pushed it away to the right. Touchdown by Rafael Madero. In a disappointing day for Oscar Collodo with the boot. 1 from 6 so far. Nicely judged kick again by Ugo Porta. The Argentinian forwards arriving as one. Here's Madero. Schiavio was there. Beautiful skills from Ugo Porta. Almost to halfway now. The Italians have ripped it away. Lorijola, Collodo, Marcelletti got away from his marker. Look at the pace. Looks for support. Bad pass though. Ball still alive, 10 metres out from the line. Argentinians in real trouble. Porta. They need to control it. Simply have to hang on to it.
That was a lovely run. I thought Marcelletti looked very good winger too in that first half, and there again was evidence of him running very strongly down that right wing and setting it up beautifully inside, and it was just a bad pass from him. Otherwise it had to be almost a sure try. It was good football. The pace has quickened dramatically in the second half, and it's good.
Ugo doesn't make a habit of getting caught up in rucks, but he really couldn't avoid that one.
Well, no, it wasn't that either. He was a bit unfortunate. Even though that it looks absolutely beautiful and there has been no rain, it's just a slightly slippery bit on top, because it's very hard underneath for this time of year. And Porta slipped on the top of the ground there. I quite like the way Innocenti, the Italian captain too, really drives forward with his shoulders. He really plows into those rucks, and there again he's freed the ball effortlessly. He really committed his body to the ruck.
Big scrum here for Italy. Lorijola, they need to free it quickly. On the blind side, flicked it to Innocenti. Italy have their first try of the Rugby World Cup.
Listen, I'm glad to see. It couldn't have happened to a chap who's tried harder, who's really been trying to lift his side, Innocenti. As I just mentioned before, body position's good and he dives in.
Beautifully worked by Italy. They controlled this, even though they were going backwards to a large extent. Good work by the halfback Lorijola, flicked it to Innocenti, and the captain of the side scored the try.
Well, I don't know that purists would hardly call that real control from the scrum, but somehow they've freed it away. But look at his body position. He's in, driving hard for the line.
Yes, the conversion is added, and that's the scoreline 10 minutes into the second half.
Well, we say we're now down, we have a ball game. It's very, very tight, but the pace has improved in the game, and that's what's good about it. It's really interesting now because both sides are really quickening it up.
Once again, the big restart from Hugo Porta, and once again, back to the 22 we go. So it's Collodo. Ball coming to halfback Laura's shoulder. Long pass to Baba. That was quite a prodigious pass from halfback Fulvio Lorijola. Found the man at second 5/8, Stefano Baba.
I think he wasted by pouring it back to this side. There was a lot of space out there to the right, but then it's difficult sometimes to sum it up.
Alicio Branca. Good jump by Branca. Took it well at number 2. Support there from Dengra, the prop forward. Now Porta. Kicking a little more now. Test on DeBaldi, the fullback. Oh, stood well. Resolute on defence. No, the penalty.
I think he must have reckoned it was shepherding. That is, Mr. Quittenton must have reckoned it was shepherding.
So Hugo Porta lines up a penalty attempt.
It wasn't the...
No trouble for Hugo Porta. 13 points to 9.
Well, it wasn't the greatest up and under, but it was effective enough in terms of pushing it down, and DeBaldi took it extremely well. And that was the infringement there, where you saw Gaetaniello coming back and shepherding the Argentinian player trying to get at DeBaldi. But I didn't think that, well, I wouldn't have said that it was too bad. The Argentinian was almost running into him.
Alicio Branca takes it for Argentina. They lead by 13 points to 9. 14 minutes into the second half. Another penalty. And pointed to the man who took the ball down, Alicio Branca.
Well, yes, they tend to be infringing a lot, the Argentinians. They get in to collapse a lot of rucks and a lot of scrums. They like going back to the, you know, the set phase play. The other thing about it is we're certainly getting uniformity in law internationally now, in the terms that referees coming here and the exchange of referees. We're certainly getting down to far more uniform law on this killing of the ball, and New Zealanders have been yelling for 10 or 15 years on this angle, and it's great to see the UK refs too wading into it.
That's a fine kick. So it's tit for tat. Hugo Porta for Argentina, Oscar Collodo for Italy, and it's 13-12.
I still feel if the Argentinians quicken up the pace as they were and play well, they're still going to win it.
All very predictable from Ugo Porta.
Yes. Same as the last.
Collodo. Schiavio takes it down for Argentina. 12 metres in Italian territory. Once again, Roger Quittenton seen something happening in the bowels of the ruck. And the penalties now coming thick and fast. Number 4, Mauro Garin. 19 penalties handed out in the match so far. Another opportunity for Ugo Porta.
Stop.
He liked it the moment he kicked it. Ugo Porta's 4th penalty, and it's 16-12.
Well, I think the Italians really just have to get more fellows there in numbers and in better body positions if they're going to wrest the ball away from the Argentinian pack.
Italians taking it in. It's in touch, though.
Okay, touch.
Number 3 there, Emilio Lupini, the vastly experienced Italian prop, the man who's played in Transvaal in South Africa. 32-year-old, plays for Rovigo in Italy. Another line-out win for the Italians. Across to Gaetaniello. Here's another chance for the speedster Marcelletti. Good kick into the centre. The Italians have recovered it. Just 10 metres out, but they've lost it forward.
Yes, that tends to be the story of their lives, and they get very close to scoring. I think they get quite excited, and they start throwing it forward or losing it forward. But it was good football, and again, good passing. The Italian backs ran up and took each man out and passed beautifully across the face of him and set their man Marcelletti free on the wing, and that's what football's all about.
More trouble for Shanguella. Carried on by Georges Allen. Only 15 metres out from the Argentinian goal line. And another penalty.
Well, I think this has been going on all through, right throughout the half.
Quickly taken by Ugo Porta.
And it finds it rather strange that Mr. Quittenton is now roaring into it at this stage of the game. We thought he'd have sorted this out in the first 20 minutes.
Lining up, 10-metre line, Argentinian territory. Porta had a much bigger influence on the game this afternoon. Cuesta Silva. Straight down the throat of the speedster Marcelletti. He'll easily run away from Branca. He's got tremendous toe. Back to Madero. And it's no wonder the Italians run the ball as much as they can out to the right wing three-quarter. Matteo Marcelletti.
Yes, he just went out and off. Beautiful body swerve around those two Argentinians, and then shot down that right wing again and centre kick, and he had the whole of the Italian back line moving up onto him. It's been good football by the Italians. They need a wee bit more ball, though, if they're going to dominate it.
Looks like halfback Martin Shanguella. I was saying earlier that Ugo Porta's had a much bigger influence on this game than he did in Hamilton. Not only with his goal kicking, he's general with the back line a lot better than we saw on Sunday.
Well, I think he has. He's playing better, but I still feel that he's running far too far before he unloads it, and I don't think he's giving the outside men as much space as they need. Cuesta Silva, for instance, an exciting player, and I do think Hugo's trying to pull too much around himself and yet not accelerating enough onto the ball to really create opportunities outside, whereas the Italian backline as a whole are playing far better than the Argentinians. And it's been reflected in the fact that they've freed Marcelletti 3 times now in this game, but yet only once has he scored.
Little halfback has damaged that left shoulder.
I was wrong back there, wasn't I, the big man? Only after he killed it, coming over right. Better.
Back into position, then goes Martin Shanguella. And warming up Fabio Gómez, the reserve halfback. Italians have quickly taken the line out. Running it out towards their left wing three-quarter, Cuttitta. He's got pace as well, Cuttitta. Oh, beautiful. Brilliant try. Pace on both wings, and this is a brilliant try by the Italians. The back spun it very quickly indeed. Fullback Tabaldi was in and gave his wing three-quarter Marcello Cuttitta some room to move, but he had to break through 3 or 4 tackles, and what a body swerve. And in he went and scored a very good try indeed.
Well, it's just what I've been saying, that they certainly are running a lot straighter and harder, and they were setting their men free. And this was a classic example, fullback in with a lovely run round, a change of pace here, and then that beautiful body swerve. You can't ask for much more than that.
Another look at this beautiful try scored out on the left wing side by the Italians. The cut through by the fullback Tabaldi. Cuttitta still had a lot of work to do here. Past one man. Another one comes across, misses the tackle, Juan Lanza, and look at the body swerve to beat the fullback. In fact, it was the left winger, and away he went. And that was a super try.
Yes, that was good try. You wouldn't see any better than that. But as you say, he had less than 5 yards to work on this blind side, on this side over here, this left-hand side.
Halfback leaving the field. So the try scored by Cuttitta wasn't converted. 16 all then. 22 minutes gone in the second half, and this is really set up for a fine ending to this game. Halfback coming on is Fabio Gómez, replacement halfback. Shanguella is off, Gómez is on. Taken by Schiavio for Argentina. They'll be stung by that last try. 10 metres out from the 22. Gómez gets his first touch. Porta. Coming down just inside the 22. Juan Lanza jumping high. Argentina will try and rip this one clear if they can. There it is, but it came on the Italian side. Collodo showing that he can kick with both feet.
Yes, that was well freed by the Italians. Again, Innocenti diving in. He's playing very well, as we say, on the floor here. Very much like a good New Zealand flanker. Plays the same style. Whereas the Argentinians tend to stand up a lot more in their back row.
16 points apiece. Away goes Jorge Allen. No support. And he lost it forward. Veteran flank forward, George Allen, has also played in South Africa, just like Lupini. He played for Natal for 3 years. Italian scrum not set. Prop forward, Lupini wasn't down.
Yeah, this is a ruse that all good scrummaging sides try to use. They try to actually charge that line in effect, to try and get an advantage initially.
Through the Italian channel it comes, held in the back by Zanon. Not such a good kick that time by Daniele Tabaldi, the fullback, the man who scythed through and gave Marcello Cuttitta the try. Lining out on the 22-metre line in Italian territory. Away goes the Italian captain Innocenti. He's had a big game. Taken away by Zanon. Collodo across to Barber. Gaetaniello. They'll be looking to give it away to the right winger, but Gaetaniello carries it on. That's the 10-metre line, Italian territory. And it was Ugo Porta himself who came through offside.
Yes, they're starting to look as if they're always going to break out now, the Italians. The backs, they're getting a lot of confidence.
Fulvio Lorigiola, a bit slow to come back.
Dai,
10-metre line, Argentinian territory. 13 minutes remaining in the game. It's 16 all. Gómez, the replacement halfback, under a bit of pressure. Charging on is Lupini. The Italians growing in confidence now.
Yes, they're starting to play well. The other thing about it is, too, is that in front of the line-out, the Argentinians win. In the middle of the line-out, the Italians win. So it's almost on line-outs are going with a put-in. Mind you, one expects that anyhow on good sides.
Quickly through the channel, that's the way it has to be. Lorigiola carried on by Innocenti, almost to the 22, but the whistle's gone again.
Yes, he's picked up. He's obviously picked up the Italian halfback Lorigiola there from just knocking it on as he picked it up.
Italians have scored 2 tries to 1. It's 16 all. Gómez to Porta. For the Argentinian backs to run onto. Cuesta Silva almost had it. It's Collodo for Italy. Now the chase is on. Travaglini has to go back. And what a very good kick from Oscar Collodo.
It was an intelligent nudge, wasn't it? Because he knew that all the Argentinian backline had come up with Porta to chase the chip ahead. And he knew there'd be nothing back there, and he was dead right. He put it into the space.
That's the way it is, with about 13 minutes to go. Don't forget, at 3 o'clock this afternoon from Athletic Park in Wellington, the match between France and Romania. Pleased to say at Lancaster Park in Christchurch that the wind has dropped considerably. It was blowing strongly from the easterly quarter when the game started. It's dropped away. Let's hope the same has happened in Wellington. But we hear it hasn't. What a surprise.
Well, I hope it doesn't influence the game as much as it did in the England-Ireland one last Monday. Sorry, Ireland-Wales, yeah.
Tiago Cash, 22-metre line in Argentinian territory. The Italians trying to push it back. It went forward from the hand there.
Notice now this big man Lupini is playing very well for the Italians. I don't know where he was before, but he's really trying to hold them together now, as you would expect for a man of his experience.
Wait, let him bend.
Oh, it's a tight head for Italy. Lorijola to Collodo. Here's a chance for them. To Baldi, the fullback. Well backed up by Barber, the second 5'8". Marcelletti, the right wingers, come right across.
Now, that was the one occasion where the Italian backs actually stood still and tried to fire the ball across rather than running onto it, and that's why there were so many men round them by the time Baldi got the ball right up here on the left flank. He had 4 men on his neck.
Once again, Branca can't secure position or possession close in the line-out. Ball didn't travel 5 metres. So the option for Italy is to have another line-out. We'll take the scrum in 15 metres. They opt for that, which is perhaps a little surprising, bearing in mind that the Italian scrum has been shoved around a lot this afternoon, and yet they have done well at the line-out time.
I think they were so surprised when they took that tight end. I think it surprised them more than anybody else.
Much better scrum now from Italy, although Argentina are applying the pressure. Collodo left a little bit too long. Oscar Collodo played at centre 3/4 against the All Blacks, but he's had a fine game today at first 5'8" for Italy. Tremendous interest in this game. It's going live to both Argentina and Italy. Tap by Carosio. Dengra has been a bit quiet in the last 20 minutes or so. And going back, having to go back and keeping it in play was Gómez. The Argentinians very dangerous. Quittenton yellow, and he couldn't handle it. Fabio Quittenton yellow only had to pick it up and fall over.
Yes, he is very unlucky. Just didn't relax enough and knocked it on. But by Jove, did you see that Cuttitta? He was in like a robber's dog too, to take it right off his hands and dive in for his what he thought was a second try.
Gómez to Porta, West to Silva, to Baldi, gets away from Lanza. Cuttitta, the try scorer, straight to Travaglini, just on the 22-metre line, Argentinian territory. There it is for Gómez.
There's a touch of tension, there's a touch of, when they say grabbing at the ball now, there's plenty of tension, plenty of action now.
Oh, free jump for the Italians. They're finishing strongly in this game. Collodo. Handed back by Calleja. That's the 10-metre line, just behind the maul. And all the urgency is coming from the Italian side. It looks very much as though Argentina's given it their best shot. Lorijola. Once again, it'll have to come through the scrum very quickly because Argentina have the big push. Lorijola to Baldi. Oh, that's a stunning tackle by Juan Lanza. A couple of years ago, the Lanza twins weren't known for their defensive qualities, but they seem to have found a new gear in that department.
Well, let's say you'd be doing anything now to hold the Italians out, because it looks as if the Italians are really playing, as you can see, very, very well indeed.
Gabriel Travaglini, the man down.
I think even if you hadn't tackled before in your life, and even though you did play on the wing, it would be time to sort of jump on someone's back and do a bit of clawing at this stage.
Six or 7 minutes to go in the match. 16 all. Gómez for Argentina. To Porta. Madero looking for Porta, but it's Juan Lanza, the right winger. Good tackling. Here's an opportunity for the Italians. Marcelletti Some thumping tackling going on in midfield.
Yes, they did go forward in the tackle, but I thought Roger might have let it, Quittenton might have let it go just a wee bit longer before he blew, because I think there could have been advantage to Argentina there.
Now it's the Italians who have screwed the scrum round. The first Rugby World Cup match here at Lancaster Park last Saturday finished up as a draw, 20 all. At the moment it's 16 all between Argentina and Italy. Big leap again by Calleja. Collodo's hands let him down. It was a poor pass though.
I actually don't know whether it was a poor pass or whether he was trying to stretch his halfback too far. He was out. It was a massive distance. He was asking Lorijola to throw it.
Another injury. Halfback Lorijola, I think, is the man this time. Already one of the halfbacks in this game has left the field. Martin Shanguela was the man who left for Argentina, replaced by Fabio Gómez.
Well, yes, this is the first time the Argentinians have really been down inside Italy's half, about the last 10 minutes at least, and I think this is almost going to be their last chance. You have periods on attack and defence in all games like this. It'd be time to really try and consolidate now if I were the Argentinians.
Ten-metre line, Italian territory. Gómez to Porta. Good kick from Ugo Porta. Well taken by Tabelli. Just 5 metres out though. Now the Argentinians need to secure possession. Carosio. Just 2 metres to go. Diving towards the line is Dengra. Almost there. Now Gómez. Everybody's having a go at the line. Just too many hands.
It was a good call by Roger Quittenton then. Just as Gómez went to pick that up, he did knock it on.
Desperate times now for the Italians.
You can imagine the pressure now the Argentinians will apply when they hit this this scrum here. It'll really be something else.
Big scrum coming up. That's all Lorijola could do. So now it's a 5-metre scrum. About 4 minutes to go in the game. 16 apiece.
And I'm sure you'll see the wheel here.
Here's the big shove. Italians holding at the moment. Travaglini controlling. Still there. Now it's gone down. Travaglini battling his way. And the Italians are penalised for pulling it down. Bit of discussion going on as to what might happen. Ugo Porta's taking the ball back. And he's going to shoot for goal.
It's sad that it had to end that way. Such a good game and so tight and tense right to the end that it's gone down to a penalty like this. I'd far rather have seen a try score.
Just a couple of minutes to go. Ugo Porta with this vital penalty kick for Argentina. They won't be happy unless they get out of this one with a win.
This is obviously a crucial kick.
Oh, he's bounced it in. Bounced it in off the woodwork, and it's 19-16 to Argentina.
Well, I'd say that would be the knocker. He will have to. I think that they'll be kicking very high and very far and very long now, whenever it comes out near the old master. Ugo Porta, I'm sure they were. fiddling around any longer in this game, and I don't blame them.
Couple of minutes to go in the game. Argentina ahead by 19 points to 16. Taken in by Cash for Argentina. Dengra rips it away. He's had a very good game indeed. Coming on the Italian side, but Roger Quittenton once again saw an infringement. Been a very interesting game, this one. The Italians have scored 2 tries to 1, but Hugo Porta's kicked 5 penalty goals. Looked like another tight hit coming.
Yes, it looked like a good tight hit there too.
Gómez, it is another tight hit. That's 2 in a row. And rather wasted by Fulvio Lorijola. Tried to nudge it ahead for his left wing three-quarter Cuttitta. 2 minutes to go. Another line-out win for Collodo. What a fantastic game he's had in the line-outs. Baba. Left winger Cuttitta. Here's Marcelletti. Still in play. Cuttitta again. Number 8 forward Zanon. 10 metres outside the 22. And a penalty. So here's the chance.
It's been an incredible game of tit for tat, isn't it?
Oscar Collodo has the opportunity to make it 19 apiece.
Must be almost on full time too. But he hasn't had a very high strike rate. He's got 3 out of 9. So maybe you'd say law of averages would say he'd have a good show.
He struck it well, but pushed it across in front of the posts. Diego Cuesta Silva has it. Disappointing from Oscar Collodo. It's 19-16. Hugo Porta does the right thing. Bangs it away downfield, and what a kick. Quickly thrown by Tabaldi. Roger Quittenton, though, is not convinced that he took it from the right place.
Well, I would say that dropout alone has won the game for Argentina. That, I think, has to be it. After this line-out, I should say there wouldn't be any more time. The clock is showing overtime now.
Play deep inside Italian territory. They're down by 19-16. Dengra, one of the outstanding players in this game. Back to Gómez. Gómez! That's done it. The second try for Argentina. Scored by replacement halfback Fabio Gómez.
Well, yes, so that's it. It was a fine build-up. Here it is, they were driving in. There was no way that the Argentines wanted to let that ball go there. They were hanging on and then freed, and no one standing, as often happens when a side's desperate to attack. And there was nothing much left on that Italian blind side to stop Gómez going in for a soft try.
Burst through the tackle of his opposite number, Lorijola, and once he'd done that, there was no one home. And a nice little dive from Fabio Gómez.
That's a good night, nurse.
Beautifully guided through the post by Hugo Porta. 25 points to 16. And that is the ball game. 2 tries apiece. And Argentina have prevailed in this very interesting game here at Lancaster Park.
Well, one would have to say that the outstanding forward, I thought, on the paddock probably was Collodo, and he was followed closely by Dengra for the Argentinians. But the Italian backline ran well. and I thought overshadowed the Argentinians on the day, particularly when they had poor ball from scrums and rucks as well. And for me too, that I think that the Italians could be very proud and very pleased, because they certainly played with a lot of pride, and none more than their captain Innocenti, who I thought had a marvellous game, particularly when his scrum was going back, and it's very difficult for a flanker to shine when the scrum was continually going backwards.
Well, the crunch match in this particular pool, of course, is the game between Italy and Fiji, to be played in Dunedin on Sunday. And from what you saw this afternoon, Earl, have the Fijians got much to worry about with the Italians?
Well, yes, I think the Italians leave too much ball around that the Fijians will feed off. But by Jove, it isn't going to be a walkover by any manner or means. And how they're going to combat, I thought, Collodo, I reckon they'll be going back and scratching their heads from now on too, till Sunday. I think the Italians will play very well against Fiji.
And the Argentinian side, of course, is up against New Zealand at Athletic Park in Wellington on Monday. What sort of opposition will they provide?
Well, I think they'll have to play a lot better than that to really give New Zealand a fright, but they are big enough up front in the forwards, and I think that they'll respond more to that challenge than perhaps they would have today. Must have been hard for them to get really, I say, psyched up, as one might say, to play against the Italians. But I think their backs will have to run onto the ball a lot more, and I'm still yet to be convinced that Hugo Porta is half the player he was even, I'd say, a year ago.
That's the full-time score then, 25 points to 16, after Argentina led at half-time by 10 points to 3. There were 2 tries apiece in the game. Juan Lanza and Fabio Gómez scored the tries for Argentina. Innocenti and Cuttitta, the try scorers for Italy. But really the difference was the boot of Hugo Porta. His goal-kicking percentage was a lot higher than Oscar Collodo. Collodo only 3 from 9. Porta, though, landed 5 penalties and a conversion, a personal tally in the match of 17 points. That really was the difference between the two sides.
Yes, I thought the 2 other players that I thought were very good for Italy were obviously their wings, Marcelletti and Cuttitta. I thought they played extremely well, and Cuttitta's try here on the left wing, you know, was a classic basically. And it was good to see the way that the Vilpura, as I mentioned earlier, has influenced their back line. They ran very straight and very hard and passed across when they moved the ball. In other words, they took the man out when they unloaded the ball to the outside man.
OK, let's go now to Tony Palmer under the grandstand here at Lancaster Park.
Well, Hugo, a little bit of a narrow escape there. Were you worried towards the end of that game?
Yes, we were worried. We know that it was going to be tough because the one who lost was out of the competition. I think Italy have done quite well. The try, the score, I think, was the best of the match. But I think we have to fix a lot of things for next Monday.
What things in particular were you unhappy with in the Argentinian side?
We are losing a lot of possession, and we are not keeping the ball tight so we can move it with the backs. So that's a great problem. We must try to go forward.
Were you happy with your own game?
Well, I just improved a little bit from the first one. I hope to improve the third more than today.
You think you're going to need a major improvement to beat the All Blacks?
What do you think? I think so. I think we need a major improvement to beat the All Blacks.
Do you think you realistically have a chance of beating them?
If I think that I won't have a chance, I won't get into the field.
Thank you very much, Hugo Porta and Maurizio. Almost. You very nearly had a win there when it was drawn for some time. Did you take heart from the way your team performed today?
Yeah, we had played, I think, a good match today, a really good match. Italian and Argentina too. I think that is one of the more exciting match in this World Cup. And when a match is very close like today, is of course that the team that played before, when you stay 60-60, if you make points, you win the match. But I am very happy with my team.
It was a very much improved Italian side than that played the All Blacks.
Oh, the match with All Blacks and other things. But I think that with All Blacks, when we had keep 3 tries in 2 minutes to finish our match, today we stay hold the match. It's possible for us to win, and we have to play a good game. I think that the Italian rugby is like today. It's not like All Blacks. But we had to lose. This is very, very hard for us. I'm really disappointed of today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Innocenti, the Italian captain, he scored one of the tries, but it was his opposite number, Porta, who scored 17 points as Argentina beat Italy today at Lancaster Park by 25 points to 16.